All right, folks, our next game for this week is going to be 20th ranked Illinois traveling to Eugene to take on number one ranked Oregon. You heard that right. The Ducks are in first place in the AP poll at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. The Fighting Illini are going on the road to take on the Ducks, who just pummeled Purdue. Now, they got off to a really hot start. It was like, I think, 21-0, and then they kind of went stale for a little while, right? But nonetheless, Oregon, they had a slow start. They've really come into their own after knocking off Ohio State 2 weeks ago in what I think Joey called game of the year. I would say it was definitely top two. I don't know if it could top Georgia Bama. That's just a little bit of SEC bias, if I'm honest. But nonetheless, and then they blanked the Boilermakers just last week. Illinois has the one loss to Penn State, but they did just take down Michigan, who is definitely below average this year. I mean, they lost something like 30 seniors, but they still had a tough win at home against the defending national championship program. The ESPN FPI has Oregon by 92%, and the spread officially has Oregon by 25 points. That is massive in this Big Ten matchup. It's weird, really, talking about Oregon being in the big, but nonetheless, I'm not going first. Mason, who you got?
So what did we say 2 weeks ago, right? Well, we had Penn State going to USC, and we had Ohio State going to Oregon. These teams having to travel to the West Coast, it definitely has an effect. Penn State barely escaped, winning in overtime by 3, and Ohio State was not able to escape Autzen. They lost by 1, 33-32. This is a tough thing for teams in the Big Ten, especially the original teams that now have to travel out west. Jet lag is a thing. It's tough. So that being said, Illinois definitely is going to have a tough time going to Autzen. It's already a tough place to play, and then going on the road. They are in the Midwest, so they're not quite all the way on the East Coast, but still, it's a long way to go. It's halfway across the country. Like I said earlier, Illinois has a pretty good little team that they're putting together. I mean, they only have the one loss to Penn State. They beat Michigan. They're a pretty good little team. I think Oregon by 25 is a little bit of a stretch. The best team they've played so far is Penn State. They only lost by 14. I even said then that I think 21-point spread against Penn State is a little too much, and I was right. They ended up losing by 14. So I do think Oregon is going to win this game 100%. I think their defense is really good. I think that they're going to play extremely well at home. I don't think they're going to drop a game here. However, Illinois, they're a good team. They're not going to get beat by 25. I got them losing by 14 again. It'll be something like 35-21. Give me the Ducks in this one.
And Joey is also picking Oregon to win on Saturday afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and make a TBD triple pick. I've got the Ducks as well. A big game in Eugene, but I also think that 25 points, 3.5 touchdowns is far too large for a gritty Illinois team. I don't think Illinois, I made the joke about them being a basketball school. They've got a good program, but Oregon is another level. Now, we can make the argument it's a noon game. It'll be a little bit easier than it would be on a Saturday night, but nonetheless, I've got the Ducks. I like them by 2 touchdowns. I definitely think that Illinois covers the spread, but I definitely like Oregon to win pretty large in this game on Saturday. I got the Ducks. TB triple pick.